Hello everyone, it's Dr. Sam. I'd like to welcome you to my EyeClarity podcast. This is a show that offers cutting-edge information on how to improve your vision and overall wellness through holistic methods. I so appreciate you spending part of your day with me. If you have questions, you can send them to hello@drsamberne.com. Now, to the latest EyeClarity episode. Okay, so why don't you update me on what your goals and objectives are, Julie, what you want to get out of our time today, and we'll go from there.
Okay, I first can't get over your space, so I have to comment on that. Jill Dama is beautiful. Jill Dama is a friend of mine. I teach Taekwondo at her school in Albuquerque. She told me all about you. Yeah.
Yes, Jill.
She has
she's great.
Taekwondo place there.
Gives me a...
She says you were fantastic, so that's why I'm here. She gave me your information.
All right, good. All right.
Yeah,
we'll see if I can deliver. So
thank you.
What's going on?
I'm looking to build a space like yours, so I'm taking inspiration. Okay, so as for my eyes, I used to have amazing eagle eye vision, of course, like a lot of people. And as I started aging, my distant vision that used to be so acute started to diminish. And then I was seeing an eye doctor at the time in Utah, and he suggested that I have cataract surgery, even though at the time I had 20/15 vision. I had really good vision. And so I didn't know. I should have seen another eye doctor. Now, hindsight. So I had a cataract surgery, and it turned out that they put a wrong prescription lens in my eye, and it was living hell. It was like looking at a kaleidoscope. My brain couldn't, it was horrible. And I couldn't see at all out of that eye. So I went to another place, and they took that lens out, and they put in a lens called a crystal lens. And I was really happy with it because it adjusts to your own iris, and it will expand and contract. And then a couple days later, the doctor said, okay, you can go back to your normal activities. And for me, my normal activities were pretty extreme. I'm a martial artist, and I went skiing, and I just fell really, really hard, a weird random fall. And I knocked the lens a little bit loose, and my vision in my left eye just has never been the same. So I lost the distant vision in that eye, but I can see it close. So my other eye, I have had nothing done to it. I've been really leery. I do have a cataract in that, and I was recently diagnosed with the onset of macular.
Oh.
So, I don't see well, obviously, at night. I still have the halos around lights. And so I just don't drive at night. I do wear a contact in that eye when I drive or when I'm out and about, and it does help, but it's not perfect vision. And I do have glasses for distance if I want to watch TV or something like that. So other than that, I don't wear any kind of corrective glasses normally. So that's it in a nutshell.
Okay. So what would be your laundry list priorities that you would like to work on? Because we can work on all of those. What do you think is the most serious or the one that's interfering the most for you? And we'll start there, and then we'll work down your list.
I am concerned about the macular. My father had it in his 90s, and he was 90 and he couldn't drive anymore. So, that's kind of part of the aging thing, I believe. But I I'm a little concerned about that. I obviously don't want that getting any worse. My distance vision, I would love to be able to correct that so that I have that again, so that I don't need a contact, to drive or to see the TV. Those are like my most immediate pressing needs right now.
Okay. So what are you doing for the macular health?
I take
Are you
the
doing any vitamins or?
I'm taking the vitamin, the A Red. I'm taking that. I have excellent nutrition. I'm vegetarian, but I really eat really clean, whole foods. My nutrition is really good.
Okay.
I exercise fanatically and, take really good care of myself. So I just, I don't believe
Okay.
that as we get old, we have to, succumb to the armchair and buy into the old age stuff.
Sure.
So
Are you taking anything else besides the ARIDS formula?
I take, I do a supplement. It's a seed supplement. It's a superfood, and I do that every day. It's has Chardonnay grape seed, raspberry seed, black cumin, um, uh, D-ribose, and a multivitamin,
Okay.
and oils, fish oils, and things like
Okay.
that.
So because you're vegetarian, what do you do for your fats and oils?
Um, huh, Nothing in particular, and I'm not even a real stickler for protein, although I do a vegan protein every day. Um, I'm really not uh, super conscious of my fat intake, um, other than just from the seeds, the
Okay.
seed oil, things like that.
Okay. All right. So, how much of the time are you on screens?
I usually, and I don't have my glasses now, but I wear the blue blocker. Uh, only,
Okay.
only in the morning for maybe I do a lot of research and meditation and things on screen in the morning, a lot of YouTubing to get
Okay.
information and things. But other than that, I'm really not online that often. But I wear my blue blockers usually.
Okay. All right. How long have you been taking the ARIDS formula?
Uh, Probably only about a year and a half since I was diagnosed with the,
And have you noticed,
I'm sorry.
um, and, do you feel like it's helping you or you're not sure?
Mm, not sure. Yeah, I'm not
Okay.
sure, but I it doesn't hurt me, so I figured I'd take it.
Okay. So in the macular diagnosis, everything is good in the left eye. It's just the right eye that's showing it, or
Yeah. Yes.
okay. Mhm. Are you seeing any like waviness in your vision or distortion or blind spots
No. I do have
with the
floaters
right
and
eye? Okay.
yeah, I have floaters, and then
Floaters. Okay.
I had the floaters taken out of my left eye when they did the cataract surgery. I do have floaters in my right eye.
Did they use a laser on that, or how did they
Yeah.
get the floaters out?
Yes, they used a laser and I believe some kind of a vacuum suction device that sucked them out.
I see. Yeah. Okay. And how ripe is the cataract?
Uh, he said my current ophthalmologist said it's not quite ready for what he would consider surgery. However, if I really wanted it done, I could just tell the surgeon in Albuquerque about my my night vision and the fact that I see halos. But honestly, the thought of surgery scares me to death. And I'm like, I just want to avoid that. I don't want to do anything, permanently at this point right now. I'm really afraid to lose my own original eye. I'm just not ready for that.
Right. Um, okay. Do your eyes ever get dry? Do you ever have dry eye?
Uh, they used to really bad. I taught school for 30 years and the lights were really harsh on my eyes. I don't really I don't really sense that I do get dry eyes. What I do notice on occasion is they water. They will water like they water. Were kind of watery last night. Maybe when I get tired or when the air is cold, they water a lot. And sometimes they just kind of tear
Okay,
up and stop watering.
I see. And do you use any tear drops, any artificial tears or anything like that?
Yes, on occasion to take the red out. I do a couple of drops on occasion.
Okay. All right. Okay, well, there's certainly a lot of potential here. I think that let's start with the macula, and I can give you some ideas, and then you get to veto the ideas. You can
Okay.
say, yeah, that makes sense, or no, I don't want to do that. That's good.
Okay.
And I'll take into account your perspective, being a vegetarian, and we can work with that. That's not a problem.
Okay.
So I think that one of the things that happens in macular degeneration, the macula is a very tiny part of the retina. It makes up less than 1% of the real estate of the retina.
Oh, okay.
And yet it's the part of our eye where we see detail, and it has one of the highest nutritional needs in the entire body.
Oh, wow.
The retina has a very high nutritional. Yeah, it's very high, because of all the blood vessels, and because it's so associated to the brain. Um, you usually around after the age of 40, 45, for all of us, we're not getting the same nutrients to the eye, say, that we did when we were younger.
Mm-hmm.
And so that, coupled with, you know, using so much digital time, and again, just not getting the enough of the nutrients that protect the macula or feed the macula, it can either dry out, or you can start to get fluid building behind it. So there are a couple of things that are a little bit under the radar, that, say, like a regular ophthalmologist who might say, oh, you do have macular stuff, so take the arids, and arids, the NIH did the two studies, 2001, 2006, and they showed pretty definitively that there were certain nutrients that helped feed the macula. And those, there are about four of them. There are more, but there are four of them. One is simply vitamin A, or beta carotene, vitamin A. Lutein, which you've probably heard of. You get that in like a lot of green vegetables. Zeaxanthin, which is its sister, which is more of the red orange vegetables.
Mm.
Those actually, they're called fat soluble vitamins. So you need to have a really good liver to be able to absorb those.
Mm.
There's a mechanism in the liver that produces bile, and it's stored in the gallbladder. And you need to have, enough bile so that you can break down those high fat soluble vitamins. And if you look at acupuncture, in Chinese medicine, the liver rules the eyes. Liver health and eye health are very connected.
That is
So
interesting.
this is more in the energetic, in the meridians,
Right,
not in a physical blood test, Western
right.
liver. But I studied acupuncture when I moved out here, and learned a lot of the connections between the internal organs and your eyes. So there's a very strong highway, energetic highway between the liver and the eyes. But anyway,
And probably the chakra,
so vitamin A and probably what?
and probably the chakra system is all
Say that
related.
last
And
part again.
the chakra, your chakras are
Yes,
probably part of
yes, the
that.
chakra. Yes, yes, yes. I actually, this is a little aside. In 2009, I met a biophysicist. He's a scientist, and he had a type of Kirlian camera, but it was a scientific scanning device, and it's called a GDV camera. And it's a device where you can actually, through the fingertips, you get a photonic emission of all 10 fingertips, and those are the endpoints of your acupuncture meridians. So you
Mhm.
get those pictures, and then it's converted to software, and you can actually see on a computer your energy field
I,
and your
I,
chakras
I've had that
in
tested.
real time.
I have a friend, Denise Sherwin, that has a health center. She has that. So I've actually had that done. It's incredible.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
So anyway, the point of the story is that there's all kinds of energy systems related to your eye. But
Mm.
let's get back to the ingredients: vitamin A, lutein, zeaxanthin, and then there's another one which may be tricky for you to take, which is called astaxanthin. And
Mm.
astaxanthin is a marine-based carotenoid. Now you can get it from algae. I actually have a vitamin that's a microalgae if you're able to take that.
Yeah.
But the lutein, zeaxanthin, and astaxanthin feed the macula. They kind of coat the macula, and it deflects the ultraviolet light away and the blue light, and it
That's
also feeds the macula. So
interesting.
those three, and then the vitamin A and zinc. Zinc helps in vitamin A absorption. And then you've got some secondary things like ginkgo, bilberry. There's an amino acid called taurine.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
I've put all this in kind of an upgrade of the ARIDS. So in other words, I took the ARIDS formula and I individualized it and I upgraded it.
Wow.
And here's the thing, your body after a while gets desensitized to whatever you give it. If I
Oh,
took the same form of vitamin C over and over and over again, it's not really doing the same thing that it might have done. So
wow.
I don't know how many more bottles you have of the Arids, but you might consider a couple of things that I've developed. One is my whole health eye vitamin, and the other is the astaxanthin, and another one that's very good for the macula. Studies have really shown this is saffron.
Wow.
And because of the red spice in saffron, that's really good for the macula. I put that in a vitamin also because it's
Wow.
expensive, but I've been
Uh-huh.
able to formulate it. So those would be three things that I would highly recommend. And then the fourth, which is more optional, would be curcumin. So turmeric, now you could cook with that, but
I
you see, your macula likes the red colors and the orange colors. So you don't have to supplement with curcumin. I also have that as well. But I
uh-huh.
will say the eye vitamin, the astaxanthin, and the saffron would be a major upgrade for your macula in terms of getting the proper nutrients. And so you could consider maybe making a shift on that.
Okay. Definitely. I get curcumin every day in a
Now,
supplement.
um, that's fine. So if you're getting it, I'm just mentioning it because that's
Yeah,
also talked a lot about in the medical research. But okay, good. But
yeah.
the saffron is really, that's a game changer. And then astaxanthin is also great. So you can go on my website and look at that.
Okay.
So the next thing I want to say is I also, aside from studying Chinese medicine, I studied a lot of functional medicine. So these are, the integrative holistic doctors that work with the gut and digestion. And what I learned from them is that we don't produce omega 3 in our body. We have to get it from outside sources.
Oh,
And what I learned from them is that the retina is about 50% made up of fatty acids. This fat, so
wow.
is the brain. It also coats the nervous system. It's an anti-inflammatory agent. So what I learned from them, it's focusing on getting some type of omega-3 into your body every day. And if you're vegetarian, there are vegan and vegetarian sources of omega-3, but you want to up your game in that arena. It's good for your brain, it's good for your memory. I've seen lots of studies on the relationship between omega-3 and brain health and also eye health.
Interesting.
So I just spotlight that for you. Say, even if you did chia seeds and walnuts and, a little more flax, you could grind that up. Maybe look at an algae-based omega-3. They sell those. But, for non-vegetarians or non-vegans, I'm recommending upwards of 2,000 milligrams a day of omega-3,
Wow. Okay.
just as a regular dose. Yeah. So it's good for your heart. It's good for your immune system. I mean, there's a lot of benefits. And the thing is we don't make omega-3.
Interesting. Huh. I take chia seeds every day.
So I would take a look at that.
Okay, definitely.
You what? You take
I
what?
I do take chia seeds every
No.
day. It's in my program. And I take
Okay.
a thorn product.
And
It's in omega 3, but whatever you'd recommend.
it's hard to find. I think just Google vegan-based or vegetarian-based omega-3, and you'll come to some really good ones.
Yeah,
I don't know if Thorne puts one out or,
they do.
find a company you like.
I do take a thorn product.
So you're just
and
looking at the amount, the 2,000 milligrams.
Okay.
You want to feed your retina more than you are. It's kind of starving a little bit. And because you have a genetic weakness there, you've got to be a little more on that. So that's now there are a couple of other things that are a little more optional for you. One is many years ago, I developed a natural eye drop called MSM, which is a sulfur molecule. We're made of sulfur. And I found it got rid of floaters. And the way it got rid of floaters is that it's a collagen creator. If you look up MSM, it's anti-inflammatory. It is a detoxification agent. So I put it in an eye drop. It's good for dry eye. It's good for inflammation.
Wow.
It's good for the macula. It's good for the retina. So if you're into something a little more, say, natural, I would go with the 5% MSM. I sell 2 concentrations. But for you, I would start with the 5% and do 1 drop in both eyes, 3 to 4 times a day. So you're getting more hydration into your eyes. That will help the macula as well, many other things.
Okay.
And then once you, if you do that, in the evening before bed, I've developed a castor oil eye drop. And castor oil is incredibly healing for the skin. It's incredibly moisturizing.
Yeah,
So I put it in an eye drop, and what you do, yeah, you know about it.
I
So you can
broke
put it on your eyelid. Go ahead.
I broke my rib 2 weeks ago and had a big competition last week. So I did castor oil packs and it did seem to help. But I do have, I do know the benefits of castor oil. So sounds amazing. You can put it in your eye. I did not know that.
Well, you don't necessarily, but I've been able to create it. So this particular product is an eye drop.
Awesome.
You can use it. People love
Okay.
it. You put it in, yeah, it's very healing. So now you're doing some natural feeding eye drops day and evening. You're doing a little more focused supplements. And then there's one other thing I want to share with you. I'm going to say this is research. This comes from a research um, project that was done in the UK. And it was actually done by an ophthalmologist. His name's Glenn Jeffries Lab. And he works a lot with neuroscientists. So he doesn't work with regular eye doctors. And here
Wow.
is the study. He took a group of people between the ages of 40 and 70 who were diagnosed with macular problems, like you. And he had them look through a red light, a red lens, 3 to 5 minutes, a few times a week for 12 weeks. And the results showed that people's vision improved by 22% by looking at this red.
Wow.
So you might say, well, what is red? What is red? See my glasses here? This is a red lens that I've created based on what he said. This is what the nanometers, and what red does is it stimulates something in the retina called mitochondria,
Mm-hmm.
which I'm sure you've heard of.
Yes.
And they produce ATP. So his theory was that when we age, the ATP goes down, the oxidative stress goes up, and also there's something else that goes up called reactive oxygen species, ROS, which is kind of like toxicity that shows up in the macula.
Oh,
So when he had them treat themselves every day like this, he found that most of those folks increased their mitochondria function, ATP went up, oxidative stress went down, that reactive oxygen species molecule went down. Drusen, which is a fatty deposit in the retina, would go away. And he said this red lens helps. Now, there's
oh,
a lot of other writings that people get these red boxes, red light boxes,
yes.
and the red light does the same thing to the body, right?
Right.
But to be able to target it to the macula like this. So I sell these on my website. You can get them.
Oh, wow.
I was going to work with some people in UK who were affiliated with him, but the shipping was going to be so expensive. So I've been doing light and color therapy for many, many years. And so I knew how to make these. And I went to my manufacturer. We went through a lot of research and development and prototypes. And about 2 months ago, I released this and it's helping a lot of people. So it's based on Jeffrey's research. It's on my website. You know, I've done a couple of blogs on red light, mitochondria. I think you should know about it because it really helps in the macular degeneration, those folks.
Wow.
You know
And,
what's interesting about that study is it worked better for the older folks than it did for the younger folks.
huh.
So it was interesting
That
that
is it.
came out. I'm not
Yeah.
sure why that is, but
Uh-huh.
I analyzed his results very carefully. We looked at what tests he did to measure people's vision, very, very high level testing. He's an ophthalmologist, and he's a medical physician. And here he's saying, this red can work.
When do you
And,
wear them?
my colleagues in Albuquerque in the morning, good question. So
Oh,
what you do is you want to wear it, no more than 3 hours after you've gotten up. So
Oh,
you do it
okay.
in the morning. You do
Okay.
about 5 minutes. About 5 minutes. You don't need a bright light source. Like I don't need to look at the sun.
Okay.
Now today, probably like you, it's cloudy, kind of dim. It's pretty nice. You don't
Yeah.
need a bright light source.
Okay.
Okay, and you can do it 5 days a week. And if nothing else, it's gonna boost your mitochondria in your eye.
Beautiful.
Which, hey, if you can do that without drugs and surgery, it may even help the cataract. I don't know
Uh-huh.
because we've got mitochondria in the cataract. I'm going to talk about how to reverse your cataract in a minute, but so this would be your macular program that's very proactive, it's very aggressive, it's very holistic, and it works for a ton of people that I counsel. So because you live a healthy lifestyle, because you know, you're in good shape, I think this gives you many more tools to help you reduce the risk of what your dad went through.
Beautiful. I love it.
So any questions about the macular protocol?
I think
It's easy.
it,
It's not, there's nothing hard about it.
no, it seems like totally in line with everything that I, believe and that I'm doing. I do go to my friend's health facility. She has red light that I'm in the box, usually on a
Uh-huh.
weekly basis, and I would have
Sure.
that kind of helps, kind of
Great.
same sort of idea with the glasses.
Well, I think this is great. You can tell her about it and ask her, why she uses the red
Definitely,
because it's going to be the same principles.
definitely. I know about the whole science
But I
of
think
that.
tell her about it.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah. There's a lot written about it, and Big Pharma doesn't like it, but so what? Who cares?
exactly. Exactly.
Okay, now
Yeah. Sounds good.
talk about let's talk about your let's talk about your lens, the lens in your eye, in the right eye, which you want to
Okay.
avoid surgery.
Right.
So the lens is a protein material, okay? And one of the enemies of a healthy lens is the glucose molecules that float around in our body. And what happens in a cataract is the glucose molecule attaches to the protein molecule. And this is called glycation. Glycation. This also is one of the causes of floaters. The glucose
Oh,
molecule will either attach to the collagen molecule or the protein molecule in the vitreous that's behind the lens. But we're talking about the lens right now.
okay.
So I did a lot of research on how can we stop this marriage between the glucose molecule and the protein molecule in the lens. And I came up with a natural ingredient, something called berberine, Berberine, berberine. And I also put in another very important antioxidant for the lens called alpha lipoic acid. Probably heard of it.
Yes.
So again, on my web store, I've created a lens protocol, the berberine, and studies have shown that when people develop cataracts, they're low in two ingredients. Number one, glutathione, and number two, vitamin C.
Oh,
There was
interesting.
a big study done in 2016 that said that people who got at least 1,000 milligrams a day of vitamin C had a 33% lower risk of developing cataracts.
Oh my gosh.
So, so with the vitamin C, you want to get you again. You can look at my lens health protocol. Glutathione, I have that on there. I have vitamin C on
Okay.
there, and the berberine. And then when you're going to take my eye vitamin, that works. That would be a great combination. So, you know, mix and match how you want to do it. That coupled with taking the MSM 5% eye drops and the castor oil, that's going to, you know, hydrate the lens more, which is good. And the berberine is going to help get rid of any of that glycation that's created the clumping of the proteins, which is creating the cloudiness. And then you're going to avoid cataract surgery. So that would be my suggestion on the cataract conversation.
Wow, this is such good information.
Now, yes. Now, I want to ask you about your left eye, which sees well up close and it doesn't need any correction. Is that correct?
It doesn't need any correction.
Have you ever tried? Okay. Here's my concern about what's going on. Here's my concern. That your brain is being split right now, meaning that part of the driving stuff is the fact that your left eye is not engaged with your right eye when you drive. You're in what we call monovision.
Correct.
And so
Absolutely.
that's going to inhibit your ability to judge distances. So one of the thoughts that I have, and maybe we need to explore this in principle, is to see if we can get you some kind of a lens correction in the left eye that would help you see better at distance, so it's matching the right eye more. Now, we match the left eye and right eye for distance, and that's just part-time. And then when you read, you don't need that, and we match the reading of the right eye to the left eye.
The problem,
and again, a lot of eye doctors don't see the value or the importance on a functional level, but because of my physical therapy training, man, it is so critical that your eyes are matching based on whatever distance you're looking at. It makes all the difference in the world in your decision making, in your processing. Because right now, your left eye is stuck up here and your right eye is probably out here. I don't know. But we need to get that, we need to upgrade that. Now, either somebody in Albuquerque, you tell them, I want something corrected for my left eye at distance so it matches my right eye. And then I want something up close where my right eye is matching my left eye. Sounds like you don't need a lens up close because you're just using your cataract. So it might just be something in the right eye. But I would say that is a top priority, and it will take some of the stress off the maculas.
Interesting.
You see, part of this situation you're in is you're not functionally using your eyes together, and your brain is confused by this. It's got to suppress one of the eyes.
The problem is,
I'm not speaking out of school here. I know you're. Yeah, go ahead.
The problem is I don't have my distance vision anymore. Neither do I have my close-up vision in my right eye. I don't see up close and I can't see far. So if I were to do that, I think I would have to have correction in both eyes because I don't have good vision in my right eye.
That could be easily. I could at least give you I do that a lot with people. You'd be surprised. People with LASIK surgery, cataract surgery, they come and see me and they've lost their binocularity.
Yes.
So I would at least see if there's a way that, we're going to have to be creative here.
Okay.
And, like you have one pair of shoes, you have many pairs of shoes, you need multiple kinds of prescriptions in a way that gives you better binocularity.
Okay.
And if you're seeing well up close with the left eye, I would say chances are we could correct the left eye through some kind of a contact lens or glasses to give you better distance vision in the left eye.
Absolutely.
And at the same token, The right eye, there's something that we could give you up close, and I'd be watching very carefully the match between how the right eye could match to the left eye up close. So it may be you need a lens in the left eye for distance,
Mhm.
and you need a lens for the right eye up close. I don't know, but I feel that I feel it's worth it, that I've done this so many times with people that have been basket cases because of the surgeries, and we've been able to come up with something creatively that gives them more support where both of their eyes are showing up together. And then once you get that, then I could give you some physical therapy exercises to reinforce the visual connection between the two eyes.
Sounds
But
sounds
first, we need to get the proper match, and then, yeah, this is the functional part of vision that eye doctors don't. They're looking at correcting optics at distance, and reading, and then doing surgery. That's mostly what they're into. They're not looking at the relationship between the eyes and the brain and functionally how they work together. And that's a missing piece for you. That's creating some stress here. You know, some of my somatic therapists will say to me, 60% of body tension is carried in the eyeballs.
totally agree.
60% of body tension is carried. You're a somatic person, so you get that. That's
Totally.
way too much tension to be carrying.
Yeah.
So a release valve will be, we got to get this situation more harmonious. And so now the snow is going to stop. It's going to get into spring. Sometime you come up to Santa Fe, we'll have an appointment. You can start these things, and then I can check you. I can actually look into your eyes, give you an update. Maybe we tweak something here or there, and then we spend our time with the proper lens prescriptions, and then physical therapy exercises. And then after our session, you can go find a nice place and go out to lunch, something
Actually,
like that.
I,
So,
I, I live in Santa Fe. I teach in Albuquerque, but
okay,
I live here, so
okay,
I'm not far
great,
from you. You're in my neighborhood. I'm on the north side of
okay,
town. We're close, and I think that sounds
okay.
perfect protocol. I love that idea.
So in the meantime, you can get the red lens.
Yes.
Again, all this is on my web store. You can take a look at the things that I'm suggesting: the saffron and the astaxanthin and the eye vitamin. Look at the lens health stuff. Look at the castor oil and the MSM. Start those things. Like, get going on that.
I will
And
do that.
then in a few weeks or whenever, when a few weeks or whenever, we can meet,
Okay.
then and by the way, if you have any written prescriptions, like anything that other doctors have given you via contact lens, or ask them for the written numbers so that we have a reference point to start from. That'll make it easier for me, and then we can move faster. And when you come here, I don't use machines anymore. So we'll do free space with lenses and in this beautiful space. And then we'll come up with something that will definitely give you more. The key is integration,
Beautiful.
reducing your stress. And then I'll give you some physical therapy things that you can do that will be gold for you. And now you're sailing now in a direction where you're improving and not just waiting for the next surgery to happen. Enough of that.
I love it. You're exactly the perfect match for me. So this is such a great protocol.
Okay.
It gives me
Well,
hope. Thank you.
yeah. Thank Jill for this.
I absolutely will. She raved about you, and I'm like, I couldn't. I was worried
Yeah.
about teaching late. I said I can't drive at night. She says, no, you got to go see Dr. Burns. I'm like, I've heard of his name before.
Yeah.
We'll finally go. So definitely.
Right. We got to get your left eye engaged with the right eye for driving, and then you'll be able to do it.
I love this.
That's the problem. You're not engaging the left.
Yes.
Yeah.
Makes total.
So no reason that you have to stop your driving. Yeah.
Love it.
Yeah. So, do you have any other questions or comments? I mean, this is kind of a full tofu wrap here. This is pretty filling, a lot of information. Is there anything else you feel you want to cover, talk about? Any other questions that you need more clarification?
I think,
Happy to, you can always send me an email.
okay.
Yeah. You'll get this recording so you can listen
Oh,
to it
perfect.
again.
Perfect. Yeah, we're a little delayed.
Yeah.
The delay in our connection is a little bad.
Yes, you are.
When we hook up in person, it will be really great. I look forward to that day. But in the meantime, I will definitely follow your protocol and get started on this. But I love your idea about matching the eyes. Makes complete sense to me. I know the feeling of that stress when your eyes aren't sinking. I get it. So I know with the Botched surgery, that was the worst part, is so much stress because I couldn't see, so I get
Oh
it.
my God.
It was awful.
Yeah,
So
it's not a good scene, but we can fix it.
thank you.
We'll just start where you are, and then we'll move you in a direction where there's contact again.
Beautiful.
And I feel confident I can help you. And then the exercises will just reinforce the connection. So, and it'll be simple stuff that's fun that you'll enjoy.
Okay. Should I make an appointment now, or do you want me to just call in a few weeks and schedule a follow-up?
Yeah, just call in a few weeks. Get this. This is enough. Digest it a little bit, and
Okay.
we'll pick a day when things aren't closed, and
Yeah.
you can come up here and you'll enjoy it.
Beautiful. I want to see your space because I might want to rebuild. Might want to build a taekwondo place like that.
Okay.
So that's beautiful.
I'll
Thank
give
you.
you tips on how to do that. Yeah.
I
You're
need
so
them.
welcome.
Thank
Okay.
you. Thank
Bye-bye.
you.
Thank you for listening. I hope you learned something from the EyeClarity podcast show today. If you enjoyed the episode, make sure to subscribe on iTunes or Spotify and leave a review. See you here next time.